Welcome to Food Point, episode 204, Spotlight on Chili. Whether it be fresh, dried, or preserved, there's a huge variety of chilies available, and an almost unlimited way of using them in cooking. They can range from mild and fruity to blow your head off spicy, depending on their position on the Scoville heat scale. Firstly, you have your fresh chilies. The most common ones available in supermarkets here in Australia are the long red chili. Following some research and some expert advice, I can confirm that these are actually cayenne peppers, which are more well known for their dried powder. These are the basic go-to chili for making red curries here in Australia and are somewhere near the top of the medium heat range. Next, we have the long green chili, which is actually an unripe cayenne pepper, much in the same way that a green capsicum is an unripe capsicum. I find that these usually have a bit more bite than their red counterpart, probably because the sugars have not had a chance to fully develop. These would be mainly used for green curries. For those who like a little more heat, there's the bird's eye chili. Don't be fooled by their size, they pack quite a punch. As a guide, the smaller a chili is, the spicier. More towards the mild end of the spectrum, yet also widely available, is the jalapeno. This is mainly used in Mexican cooking. And finally, we have the habanero. These are extremely hot, probably at least in the top 10 of the hottest chilies on the Scoville scale, yet they also have a fruity flavour. Try adding some to a raspberry sauce for an interesting kick. So there's 5 fairly widely available fresh chilies that can all be used in different ways. However, there are a dozen more varieties that could be available on the commercial market. You just need to find them. As a rule of thumb, try to choose chilies that are smooth, firm, and shiny. If you're interested in growing your own chilies, you should check out a seed retailer such as the Hippie Seed Company, who were very helpful in providing information for this video. Now we'll move on to dried chilies. For each type of fresh chili, there's at least one variation of dried chili, and they aren't always named the same thing, which can potentially get very confusing. Out of my collection, I've chosen about 10 of the more notable or interesting ones. Once again, we'll start off with the standard long red chili, which you'll remember is actually a cayenne pepper. Next, we have some Kashmiri chilies. As the name suggests, these would mainly be used in Indian, Pakistani, and South Asian foods. And again, we have the bird's eye chilies, even smaller in their dried form, but please remember to use them in moderation. Next, we come to the Mexican varieties. As chilies are native to Mexico, it's no wonder that among available varieties, they have the most by far, and they span all levels of the Scoville scale. Firstly, we have the habaneros again. Unlike most Mexican chilies, they seem to have the same name dried as they do fresh. The same goes for Pekin peppers. These are tiny, but as with the bird's eye chilies, you can't base the heat level off the size. These little guys will blow your head off if you aren't careful. A bit milder, but I find them interesting, is the cascabel chili, or rattle chili. So named because if you shake one, it sounds similar to a rattlesnake's tail. They're only moderately spicy and have a mild nutty flavour. Next, we come to what's known as the Holy Trinity of Mexican chilies. First is the ancho chili, which is a dried version of the poblano chili. They aren't particularly spicy, but they have a nice sweet and smoky flavour. Second is the mulatto chili, which is a close relative of the poblano. Once again, it's more fruity than spicy, with hints of tobacco and cherry. Thirdly, we have the pasilla, which is a dried form of a shellacca chili. Unlike the other two members of the Trinity, the pasilla actually has some heat, and brings a rich flavour to any dish you add it to. Last on my list of dried Mexican chilies, but definitely not least, we have the chipotle. This is a dried jalapeno pepper that comes in 2 varieties. The chipotle típico, which is a fully dried smoked chili, and the chipotle morita, which is a soft dried jalapeno with a fruity flavour. To use dried chilies, you can either soak them to rehydrate and then blend or chop them, or roast them and grind them into flakes or powders. There's already commercially available chili flakes and powders, as well as cayenne pepper, and paprika, which is also a member of the chili family. You can also use dried chilies to infuse oils or alcohol. For instance, take a full bottle of vodka, pour a couple of shots for yourself and a friend, then add a few dried chilies to the bottle. I also like to add a cinnamon quill as I think the flavours go well together. Then just shake it up and leave it for a few weeks to infuse. Then it's ready to be used in cocktails, or if you're so inclined, add some to your hot chocolate. There are also a fair few preserved chili products available, such as Greek pickled hot peppers, which are nice with tapas or on antipasto platters. There's also pickled habaneros and jalapenos, which go nicely on top of pizzas or nachos. As well as chipotle peppers in adobo sauce, which can be eaten as is, or added to stews and sauces for a smoky flavour and some spice. And who could forget chili sauces or hot sauces, such as Tabasco. There are probably more varieties of hot sauce than there are chilies, and that's saying something. So next time you want a chili hit, don't just go for the basics. There's a whole range of options out there, and you may just find something you really like. I hope you've enjoyed this video. For some ideas of how to preserve or dry your own chilies at home, please click the box to the left. Or for a mild but flavourful chili con carne recipe, please click the box on the right. If you like what you see, subscribe and stay tuned for more.